Welcome back, folks. Welcome to another Let's Talk. And today we talk about Blood Bowl and the vampires. We finally now got some rules released on these guys, so let's dive into it. So, as many of you know, the vampires are the next team that's coming out. They're already now up for pre-order. So, these guys will be up for pre-order this Saturday. So, if you want this team, this is a chance to have a look what they're capable of. Now, this lot has been confirmed as a mixed hybrid team of elite players, but with chaff. That's normal. So we have now got Bloodlust back, but what does it do now? Well, we have a long paragraph. Let's read this, shall we? To keep control of their wits, the vampires need to supply fresh blood. Whenever a player with this trait activates or declares any action, they must roll a d6, add 1 to the roll if they declare a block action or a blitz action. Now that is important to keep note, guys. So that means if you're doing a block or a blitz, you have to add 1 to the roll, because that means they're going to punch someone. If they roll equal or higher than the number shown in brackets, they may activate as normal. If the player rolls lower than its number shown in the brackets or rolls a natural 1, now keep that in mind, natural 1 will count. So that means if you roll a 1, even with a +1, doesn't matter. If you roll a natural 1, it's an automatic fail. Okay, here we go. They may continue their action as normal, although they may change their declaration action to a move action if they wish. If the player declares an action that can only be performed once per turn, such as a blitz action, this will still count as one of that action if the team's turn. So basically, you can change your action if you so desire, because of the Bloodlust. However, if you declare a blitz, it is still classed as you used your blitz. So do keep that in mind. Anyhow, let's continue this. There we go. At the end of the division, they may bite an adjacent throw lineman, teammate, standing, prone, or stunned. So basically, any of the three. If they bite, a throw is merely make an injury roll. If that throw is treated as a casualty result, as badly hurt, it will not cause a turnover. Okay. So they got to make an injury roll to see what happens to them. And if they get injured, it doesn't count as a turnover. Well, that's good. So it's the same as before. Now, this will not cause turnover unless the throw was holding the ball. If they do not bite a throw for any reason, then there's a turnover is caused and the player will lose their tackle zones until the next activation. So this is a big thing, guys. They don't leave the field. They're staying. They just lose all their tackle zones. Interesting. And drop the ball if they're holding it. So if the player was on the opposite end zone, no touchdown is scored if the player who failed the roll wants to make a pass action, handoff, or score. They must bite a throw before performing the action or score. So basically, guys, if they want to make a pass or throw, they have to bite. So basically, the Bloodlust is actually better. Far better than Animal Savagery. So basically, they don't leave the pitch, they just feel about in a mad anger because they didn't get any blood. So this means now we're seeing now that vampires are going to be like Chaos or Black Orcs, where you only get a small number of them and the rest are just chaff. So let us move on to the first player, which is the Vampire Thrower. Now, this one's got movement 6, strength 4, agility +2, pass +2, AV +9. Right, so let's start off with the first thing about this vampire. 1, he's a ridiculously good passer. You can give the elves a run for their money. 2, he's got okay movement stats, and strength 4 means you're not taking that ball off him that easy. Bloodlust 2, so that means as long as you don't roll a 1, he's going to be fine. He's got regenerate, so that means he's not going to die easy. And hypnotic gaze, well, we all know what that does, and a pass skill. So, yeah, I mean, that is quite an interesting lineouts. Go remember, guys, all the vampires now have a specific role now. You've got Vampire Thrower, Vampire Blitzer, Vampire Runner. So you got one of the three. So I'm going to spend this guy to be roughly about 110 to 125 gold, because that is a powerful piece for passive work and doing. I mean, you can use as a runner. He's got the agility to do it. He's got the strength and the decent movement. So let's move down here to the Vampire Blitzer. Now, this is interesting. This Blitzer has movement 6, strength 4, AG 2. So he can't pass. He's got decent strength. But this is where it gets interesting. Bloodlust free. Right. That's probably telling me that if he's not blocking or doing a blitz, he's going to be doing a 50-50. He's either going to do something or he's going to do absolutely bugger all. So, in my honest opinion, guys, if you're using the Vampire Blitzer, you must make sure he's in combat constantly. Juggernaut's an interesting one, which can only work when you're blitzing. So, yeah, it means if you do Juggernaut, it means you're pushing someone forward. So you're not going to suffer a block down, but it's not the best skill. To be honest, I think the Vampire Blitzer is a bit of a, I would say a bit of a dud. But there are better players coming up. So let's roll down to here. We have the Vampire Runner. Now, this one's interesting. They've got weak armor, weak strength. First time I've seen a Vampire Strength 3. But this is what it's best for. The Movement 8. This vampire is quick. Basically, speed blitz down the thing, a long pass, and you're not going to catch this thing. But the Strength 3 is an issue. This is another one I'm a bit questioning about because of the fact that, I mean, yes, the Vampire Blitzer can be a good ball carrier if you could keep his Bloodlust in check. With her, Bloodlust is not a big issue, but the problem is that Strength 3. So the Vampire could have some problems. And then we have the Throw Linemen, which we now have the cost for these guys, 40k. They're cheap. So basically, they're just cheap fodder. Movement 6, Strength 3, AG, Pass 4, your standard thing. Now, to me, this is what you're going to see mostly, but I'll explain after this. The strongest player on the Vampire team is the Vault Guys. Now, we've saw him earlier in the star player. So there's two Vault Guys. You've got the star player one and the normal one. This is the normal one. Now, this monstrosity is movement 5, strength 5, AG plus 4, armored plus 10. With Bloodlust, Claw, and Frenzy. It does not block. So basically, this crazed monstrosity is an absolute monster. I mean, movement 5 is not fast, but the strength 5 is absolutely brutish. He is going to be tearing lines up. And with Claw and Frenzy, he's going to absolutely destroy people with lots of armor. Now, he has Loner 4, so that means, you know what that means? He's going to need a babysitter to keep him in check. So, that's pretty much it for that. And also, we all now know what the new team is, guys. Well, also, we also know the new team for Blood Bowl. It's going to be the Underworld Denizens. That's next. Interesting. So that's what it says here, guys. Sounds like Vampires of Pure Blood Vampire will be available on Saturday. And if you're a fan of the virtual game, good news, Season 2 Blood Bowl is imminent and will feature the Underworld Denizens. So, yeah, they're the new team. So, okay, we got two announcements. One is the Underworld Denizens are coming to Blood Bowl. I'll have a look at that trailer when that comes out. The fact that they've said it, which they can do because it's their product, but I don't have got the trailer yet. I'll have to check that out a little later. But the way I see a Vampire team is there's going to be a lot of these guys. Definitely want a him. And probably want a him just to break up lines. And probably the runners. Might see a Blitzer or two as late game pieces. But I'll be honest, it's not a bad team. It's a little more balanced. They're not all just like generic vampires. They each got a role and skills. So, yeah, I could see them being a very good force. What do you think? Do you like what you see the Vampires? Do you like what you see? Do you want to see, hopefully, another team like the Vampire Coasts get similar treatment like this? And what do you think? Are you going to buy them or not? And what do you think of the Underworld Denizens being the team that's been picked? Do you like that? Do you hate that? Well, we'll have to wait and see. But anyway, folks, that's it for this video. If you like the videos, please like, share, and subscribe. Ring the dinner bell. And I'll see you on the next Blood Bowl. I'll catch you later.